Aloha! Today's news is about the pandemic restrictions. A number of restaurants here on Oahu are applauding the city's plan to drop access restrictions called Safe Access Oahu. These restrictions include showing your vaccine card or showing a negative COVID test along with your ID. You had to show proof you were COVID-free before you could enter the restaurant. This restriction will be dropped on March 6th. Restaurant owners are applauding this change. This was a huge restriction and it kept many diners away. Instead of eating inside the restaurant, they ordered takeout. During that time when restrictions were in place, being able to order takeout definitely helped. We started to see other states dropping and easing their restrictions. It was a major challenge for business owners here in Hawaii because of the restrictions was still being enforced. Much relief now for restaurant and other public businesses. Despite the rule change, gym owner Leong, he feels it is best to continue the required proof of vaccination or negative test for gym members. He thinks his gym members would appreciate that. Bar owners also agree and will continue to require patrons to show their vaccine card. Gym owner Leong believes that indoor mask mandate should be dropped. He feels people are feeling safer because people are now vaccinated. Mayor Rick Blangiardi says the mask mandate is out of his control. He can't make any changes. The governor's emergency proclamation plan continues until March 25th. All the states in the nation have dropped or eased on, or will soon within a few weeks, the mask mandate, except for Hawaii. Mayor said, "It is pretty clear that from Dr. Char, among all the COVID restrictions in place, she felt the indoor mask mandate would be the very last restriction to be lifted. Hawaii has followed the CDC guidelines mandated all along, which recommends universal indoor mask wearing in public spaces where there is a large number of people gathering. Following CDC's mask mandate. Later, if CDC works on adjusting their requirements, the public will be informed regarding any CDC updates." What is the mask mandate as of Friday? Governor Ige said that the state of Hawaii will still require wearing masks indoors, even though the CDC guidelines has eased their restrictions to the mask mandate. The state of Hawaii is the only state in the nation that still requires wearing masks indoors. Other states have eased up on their restrictions. The CDC reasoning to ease their indoor mask requirement is so that they can start to focus on the number of hospitalizations, not on the number of cases. They will focus on the number of persons who are seriously sick and in the hospital. The number of hospitalizations has been declining. The CDC has eased their restrictions due to the declining numbers. However, Governor Ige is not ready to drop the mask mandate. In a statement, he said, quote, "Hawaii will keep the indoor mask mandate for now. We are watching disease activity across the state and globally, especially as other changes are made to the current program across the U.S. and at the county level. We will adjust accordingly." The CDC eliminated its mask mandate once before, then reinstated the requirement when the Delta variant caused a spike in cases. Hawaii kept its indoor mask requirement in place during that time, protecting residents and preventing the rapid spread of the virus, resulting in the second largest COVID fatality rate in the country. As of Friday, February 25th, there are 103 people with COVID in the hospitals. Compared to last month, 473 people were in the hospital for various reasons, and they happened to be tested for COVID. From September to now, the numbers have really declined. A variety of people were interviewed. They were asked what their opinion was to the mask mandate. One shopper said, "It is fine to keep wearing the mask. It's fine. It's good to be cautious. If conditions improve, I think at one point we should drop the mask mandate. I can wait a while longer." One family member said, "It is so important to be cautious and continue to wear your mask." Other shoppers are ready to stop wearing the mask. People's responses varied. Miller, an epidemiologist, said, "It is better to be safe than sorry." Aloha news. Former Mayor Kirk Caldwell is running for governor of Hawaii. His emphasis and goal is to establish affordable living for every person. His plan is to build tens of thousands of affordable homes, with the goal in mind that residents will be able to afford either to pay rent or buy a house. He did say that COVID really did change us. There's no going back to where we were. The pandemic has really showed that there are a lot of problems that already existed. His goal is to address these problems and solve them. He also mentioned two situations that he fully supports in eliminating. One is the Red Hill tanks. He supports defueling those tanks. The second item is the 30-meter telescope. He supports to eliminate the construction and setting up the telescope. In 2012, Caldwell was first elected as the mayor of Honolulu. Under his administration, his priorities were road improvement, protected bike lanes, homeless initiatives, and climate change. Things are moving along during his tenure as mayor, and into his 8th year, that is when he faced a lot of tough challenges related to the coronavirus pandemic. He even had to set up strict measures, including the lockdown. Even though he knew there were serious consequences, it was a tough ending for him as mayor and his administration. He does support the Safe Travels program. He takes the wait and see approach. Watch the progress and see what's happening. Make adjustments as needed as they monitor the spread. Making sure people are vaccinated. Make sure the spread is under control. Travelers who come here are screened to make sure they are safe, and Hawaii residents are protected as well. We will continue this approach and see how everything goes. He also mentioned that he was faced with Ke Aloha's corruption controversy. that happened in the past and he had been wrapped up in. He hired 2 directors who were included in the investigation and charged. They were Donna Leong and Roy Amamiya. They were both former directors. They were hired based on their experience, hard work, expertise, and skills. Never did they thought that they would ever be involved in any kind of corruption. Caldwell has not been charged or fined, but the investigators say that this can ruin his chance of running for governor. It could hurt him. HNN political analysts feel that most people suspect that he had some kind of knowledge who was involved in the corruption. This can jeopardize his chances to become governor. Also, another person named Keith Amamiya has the same last name as Roy Amamiya. Sharing the same last name can also mess up his chances to become governor. So far, Caldwell will face Lieutenant Governor Josh Green and former First Lady Vicky Cayetano on the Democratic side of the governor's race. U.S. Representative Kai Kahili told HNN that he is considering the idea of running for governor. In a previous report, HNN said that Caldwell has been behind in his campaign fundraising due to the elimination of his team members. However, Caldwell's campaign said they did not feel it was appropriate during the holidays to raise funds. They wanted to wait. So that was the Democratic side of those individuals that are running. Now those that are running on the Republican side, Paul Morgan is a business consultant from the Big Island. Also, former Hawaii veteran and U.S. Indo-Pacific Command Program Manager Lynn Mariano, as well as Gary Cordero. He is the head of the Aloha Freedom Coalition. All 3 have announced their candidacy to run for governor. There are 2 other possible candidates that might run for governor. They are developer Peter Savio and UFC legend BBJ Penn.